Greenwillow Books, an imprint of HarperCollins Publishers and Harper Audio present Splinter Ash by Marieke Nijkamp, performed by Vico Ortiz. To Tonke and Tamora, who taught me how to dream. And to all the kids who build castles out of stories, this one's for you. Prologue. The sun set behind the starlit mountains, casting the sky in pale purples and blues. The peaks formed jagged shadows. The stars blinked to life. And a carriage driver who was on her way to deliver her passenger from a small garden estate to the royal city of Kestrel's Haven decided to take a long-forgotten mountain path instead of the high road. After all, the driver, a stout woman with a tender heart, had promised her youngest son that she'd be home for the winter's Heart Festival, and the high road was the long way around. A kingdom's fate is quite often decided by coincidence and happenstance and such small individual decisions. The girl inside the carriage approved of the change of route. She didn't mind the cold, even though the superstitious saw it as a warning sign and muttered about unlucky stars shining on the year ahead, especially with the war at the northern border. The girl had no misgivings about the way the wheels clattered over the uneven stones. She didn't remember the last time she had trekked across icy mountain paths in a carriage, the night of the accident that killed her father. She was bundled up in a thick woolen blanket, and her thoughts were on something quite different than tragedy and war. She was returning to Kestrel's Haven for the first time in nearly 6 years, and she couldn't wait to be home. After a long, freezing night amid the cliffs, the carriage wound its way down toward the royal capital, and the girl sat glued to the window. Kestrel's Haven was the type of city that had once centered around a palace and a market square, but over the years, it had grown. New districts crawled along the river banks. Countless houses and stores pushed past the confines of the city walls and tumbled across the fields. Tall temples provided children a place to learn their letters and numbers, while schools served those who had the coin or the title to demand a finer education. In every district, statues honored the kings and queens of old. Atop a hill sat the palace, overlooking everything. Like the city, the palace had grown from a handful of buildings to great halls and towers and keeps and pathways that crossed over and under each other. Walls and gates kept strangers out, but the girl's carriage passed through all without delay. It was eagerly awaited at the royal gate. Not by the guard, who kept the palace safe, not by the knights who served the crown, not by the girl's brother, who had been counting the days until her return and wasn't thrilled at all. The girl's mother, the queen, stood outside the gates in a simple blue dress with a woolen overgown, fur-lined boots, and leather gloves. She didn't fumble with the hem of her sleeve, because it would not do for the queen to be caught fumbling. She didn't pace, for that would have been improper too. She didn't let her guard come close, though that might have been wise in light of recent threats. Instead, she ran, out of the cover of the guardhouse and into the falling snow as soon as the carriage pulled up. She opened the door.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?